Very good. So that's stop number. No, I'm at the corner of Elm Street.
Is that time the same?
I have a trolley I see going into Welcome Center. I see that you have room. I can wait behind that trolley for the Welcome Center. So over there, there's a dark glass building off to the left. That's the trolley there is heading towards that spot. That's where we pick you up every 15 minutes. That's where we'll be dropping you off as well. And straight ahead, there's one trolley and more on their way into stop number 1. That's where the stop 1 through 15 begins. Straight ahead is the New England Aquarium. One of the world's largest saltwater fish tanks. Salespeople can save you $5 on a ticket to the aquarium if you want to visit the aquarium. And at stop number 5 is the old State House. It's $10 to go into a museum in the city of Boston there, but it's free when you show your trolley ticket. And right next to it is a wax museum that's $25 a person and free when you show them your trolley ticket. This is Long Wharf. Takes a couple minutes to walk out the end of the wharf. There's telescopes out there and places to sit in the shade or in the sun. And the red brick building to the right, the Chart House restaurant, was Tom Hancock's office and warehouse. And we're going to have to go to stop number 1 to drop off because there's nowhere for me to go. Okay, so this is stop number 1 right here, folks. But over there where the red bus is where you'd be picked up every 15 minutes, but there's no room for me to stop right there. So
You guys are so quiet. Not complaining, I'm just observing. I mean, just studying your map or figuring out what to do, right? So welcome on board the trolley. If I'm meeting you for the first time, my name's Welby. It says right over here, my pleasure to be your driver. We are on the green line on your map. If you don't have a map, we have plenty of them right up here at the front. But if you open it up all the way past the ads, you'll see in there's a map. And you're at number 1 right over here. We're going to follow that line all the way around in order. If you stay on one time around, it takes about an hour and 45 minutes. But you can get on and off as much as you want all day till what time? 5 o'clock, very good. Don't want to leave anybody stranded. We don't shut down at 5. The way it works is you just have to be on a trolley or at one of our stops by 5. We do have a couple of detours today because of construction and a fundraising event. The Jimmy Fund Walk has Copley Square kind of backed up a little bit. So currently stop number 11 is not available. Stop 11 is the Copley Place Mall. So this is one of our newer trolleys. With the newer trolleys comes a newer technology, and that means you cannot idle for more than 5 minutes. It automatically shuts off. Yeah, when the trolley shuts off, so does the microphone. So anyways, stop number 11 is not available right now. Stop 10, stop 9 are very close by. Stop number 12 is still currently open, but we're getting word that they might be closing it down. It's all in the back bay. So what we're going to do, we'll do the route. When we get to stop 9, we'll touch base with you guys and let you know what's going on, okay? Pretty simple. A couple of safety rules on the trolley. Please stay seated while the trolley's moving. Any of you that are sitting next to the open windows there, enjoy the breeze. Please hold on to your hats. Also keep everything inside the trolley. That would be arms, legs, head, feet, family, friends, cameras, children, everything stays in the trolley. No smoking on board the trolley at any time. And also, folks, you do want to remember that this is a narrated tour. So if you feel the need to talk to your family and friends, just be courteous, try to whisper. And also, if you have a cell phone, we ask you do not use it on board the trolley. And we're going to start off with the official trolley music. Feel free to sing along.
Clang, clang, clang with the trolley. Ding, ding, ding with the bell. Sing, sing, sing with my heartstrings. From the moment I saw it, I fell.
Alright, a little bit of Judy down the side of the trolley ride. So we're going to come into the North End neighborhood. Everything to your right in front of us is called the North End. It is the oldest residential neighborhood in the city. It dates back to 1630. That was here Boston was settled. Boston was settled by the Puritans who came here in 1630 looking for a place to practice their religion freely. They founded this little town. At the time it was called Shawmut, which is an Indian word meaning living waters. And they renamed it Boston, as many of the Puritans were actually from Boston, England, just north of London. This neighborhood over the years has been home to every wave of immigrants that have come into Boston. And then in the early 1900s became what it is today, Boston's Italian neighborhood. There's over 100 restaurants, cafes, and bakeries here in the North End neighborhood. Not a bad one of the bunch, so even if you don't get Flour Bakery, lots of other great bakeries, okay? Yep. Now the historic sites are pretty simple here in the North End too. We have Paul Revere's house and the Old North Church. Stop number 2, you can easily walk to either one of them. Old North Church is the place where the 2 lanterns were placed during our Revolutionary time, one if by land, 2 if by sea. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. And Paul Revere's house, the oldest wooden building in downtown Boston. Probably know the name Paul Revere. He moved into this house 90 years after it was built. So the house was built in 1680. He moves in 1770. Excuse me one second, that's just getting a beep on the radio. This well being on tour right now. So Paul Revere lived in this house with his first wife, Sarah Orne, with whom he had 8 children. Sarah unfortunately passed away a short time after giving birth to child number 8. Paul was heartbroken, he was devastated, he was so grief-stricken, you know what he did? Remarried. Yep, he married again. 5 months later. That's what they did though. In those days, marry quickly, get another mother for the kids. So he marries Rachel Walker. Talk about a saint. Not only did she take care of the first 8 kids, Paul and Rachel together had 8 more. Yep, 16 children for Paul Revere. I know, I call him the original Minuteman himself, Paul Revere. Silversmith, goldsmith, coppersmith, pewtersmith, dentist, bellcaster, bellringer, and his most famous job, courier for the Sons of Liberty. During his life, he rode hundreds of miles for the patriotic cause, but his most famous ride took him just 20 miles outside of Boston to Lexington and Concord, not even 20 miles. The night of April 18, 1775. Paul Revere's journey began first with the warning signal at the Old North. Now, before I even tell you this story, you think back to 1875, Boston was already 145 years old, already had the massacre, already had the Tea Party. So the people here that were planning a revolution, and the British troops that were stationed here, they wanted to end all this crazy talk of revolution before it could begin. So they came up with a plan. They were going to capture the leaders of the rebels, John Hancock and Sam Adams. They were hiding in Lexington. And then they'd seize the ammunition that was stockpiled in Concord. To get to Lexington and Concord in those days, there were 2 ways you can go. Long way by land, short way by sea. So the rebels came up with a signal, 1 if by land, 2 if by sea, referring to the number of lanterns at the Old North Church. Look to your left at the top of Hinchman Street. You will see a white steeple. This is the Old North Church. It was in this steeple that those 2 lanterns were placed the night of April 18, 1775. If you don't see it, I'll show you another view in a minute. So obviously the British are going by sea. It warned everybody in the city. You could see the lanterns, but to warn the people outside, we sent some men on horseback. First one dispatched, William Dawes. Second man dispatched, Paul Revere. Revere's journey began on your right in a rowboat. He landed in Charlestown, then he jumped on a horse and rode off to the north. You know, if you listen, you can still hear him riding around even today. And what was he yelling that night? Remember, history class? The British are coming, the British are coming. That's what they teach us, right?